And again, like always, I am never prepared for this. I have done this for so long and I am never prepared. Boom. That is not what I wanted to do. Let's get this going the right way because I need this one. Ah, made a loud noise. Why did it do that? Jesus, that was horrible. Um, there you go. So this is, oh my God, this is gonna suck. Hold on 2 seconds because I need to do another thing. We need our intro. It's right here. Oh, I love that. The intro's awesome. I have two intros actually. I have that one and I have this one, but it's just music.
A spooky
Those of you on the Arium live stream cannot hear the music. If you are on my Discord, then you have access to the stream.
let the mystery unfold.
Yes, I love it. Bam. There you go. That was awesome. Teleprompter mode. Okay, so I can get my script out. So, welcome everybody to Spooky Mysteries. I'm your host, Joe Rios. And if you are also on Irium, which is a VTuber app, come check it out. I'm also Joe Rios on there too. I am the Wandering Storyteller. And today, for those of you that are on Irium or on the stream here today, you're going to hear about three stories, or three women actually. They are the women in white, the ghosts of Latin America. I've talked about this before. I've talked about it a lot. La Llorona, La Ciguanaba. There's so many. There's always a woman in white across all continents, across all cultures, across all religions. If there is a paranormal side, there is the women in white, and they're everywhere. It's impossible to go around them. And then there's a subsection of the women in black. Um, and there's even a subsection of that because in Texas there is the children with black eyes. So there's certain ghosts and things that have very key defining features and very key defining motives. For the women in white, it's always sorrow, loss, grief, and they're always searching for something. Or if not that, they are after something. It's one of the biggest mysteries. It's one of the biggest things that's always been around. And we're going to do a deep dive on that today. But before we get started, I need to grab my drink. Liquid Death, Dr. Death is one of my favorite ones. It's their Dr. Pepper flavored water. And that's crazy that it's water, but it has a soda taste to it. And I'm not going to lie, it doesn't taste like soda, but it is still very delicious. Oh, I wish they sponsor me. That'd be awesome. That'd be a dream come true to get sponsored by Liquid Death. I have a wall of their art. You've seen it on my Instagram and my Twitter. I have 20 more things I got to cut out and put up there on the wall. So there's so much I have to do. And I've been slowly getting it done. And those of you on Irium, the caption for today's stream on Irium is the character has been fixed because thanks to the help of one of my mods on there, Pastel Pegasus, she reminded me to fix my character. And now, whenever I close my mouth and blink, he doesn't glitch out. It's awesome. Make sure you check that out too. So I'm everywhere. Let's do this. Let's go. Hold on 1 second, please. Never mind. Uh, I want to have ambiance music. Can we have ambiance music? Actually, let's find that because if I can find some ambiance music, something nice and settling, that'd be great. Let's see, how would I even go about that? It'd have to be royalty free because I'm on Twitch and Instagram, and not on Instagram. I'm on Twitch and Spotify. Let's see, royalty free, royal. Nope. I have to cough. Um, what would I do? What would I use it as? What would I use it as? Music. There you go. It's only 2 minutes. Ah, that's gonna suck. No, I need more than that. We need to actually go to YouTube for that.
Taxes.
And that's a commercial. Of course, there's commercials. There's always commercials when I need it. We need a playlist. Nope, that's gonna take too long. We're not doing this. I give up on that idea. Wow, that was a waste. Okay, whatever. We'll do that later. We're going back to the stream. We're going back to the scary stories. I'm so sorry about that, everybody. Okay, let's get back to it. Hey, I got a message on Discord. There's so much going on right now. Oh, it's just on my other Discord servers that I don't check out. If you have a Discord server, I'm sorry. I will accidentally just, well, not accidentally. I will get on there, but I won't do anything. I'm a part of so many Discord groups. I don't check anything out. Okay, so let's get started for real now. We're gonna mark this out. Everything before the 7 minute mark is done. Take a deep breath and begin. In Latin America, from the deserts of the north to the jungles of the south, there's a current that runs deeper than any river. It's the current of stories, folklore passed down not in dusty books, but in hushed tones around kitchen tables, in whispered warnings from grandparents, and in the nervous laughter of friends around a late night fire. These aren't just fairy tales, they're the guardians of culture, the enforcers of morality, and the living memory of a people. They are the things that go bump in the night, the cautionary tales that keep kids close to home and adults on the straight and narrow. They are ghosts born from a. Oh, I had a burp. I'm sorry, I had a burp. They are ghosts born from a potent mix of indigenous myths, the fervent Catholicism of Spanish colonizers, and the unique terrors of a new world. And within this collection of folklore, one figure appears with chilling consistency. She's a phantom, a shade, a spirit defined by her sorrow and rage. You might just catch a fleeting glimpse of a pale figure moving through the twilight, or you might hear her sound first. A sound that freezes the blood and makes the hair on your arm stand on end. She is the woman in white, an archetype of tragedy. She haunts the Americas under different names and with different motives, but her presence is undeniable. Terrifying echo is an undeniable, terrifying echo that has reverberated through centuries of storytelling. Across Latin America, from the moonlit rivers of Mexico to the deepest forests of the Caribbean, people whisper. I need it. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to pull this out because I don't like the way that looks. I need to put it somewhere else. What? Okay, so bear with me here. Families out there talking loud. Come on, hurry up, please. Thank you. I need to send it to myself because this is going to work so much better if I do it this way. This one right here. Bam. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Okay, so I'm doing this way because it's gonna work so much better for me because I need to read it to y'all, right? I'm reading a script. I have scripts. I write my own scripts. So not that one. I want this one. There it goes. Oh, that's a scroll to the top. Okay. So now I'm gonna put you in front of the iPhone, and bam, that's so much better now. Because now I can actually look at the camera. Across Latin America, from the moonlit rivers of Mexico to the deepest forests of the Caribbean, people whisper tales of a ghostly woman in white. She's seen weeping by the water's edge, luring men into the darkness, or fleeting through the trees without leaving a trace. But are the legends of La Llorona and La Ciguanaba and La Ciguapa just separate tales of terror, or are they all echoes of the same ancient ghost? Today, we're journeying into the heart of these three terrifying legends to tell their stories, understand their warnings, and uncover the chilling threads that binds them together. I had a burp again. I'm so sorry. If you happen to be walking along a riverbank late at night, sorry, I have to cough. I'm fighting off a cold. You know what? I don't like that idea anymore. Going back to my stream. I don't like reading sideways, so I'm gonna put you here. Adjust. Oh, I can't adjust you anymore. Yeah, that's what I thought. Long ways. Put you right there, so I'm looking at the camera better. Sorry, all this will be cut out too. Scroll. Okay. If you happen to be walking along a riverbank late at night, anywhere from the southwestern United States down to northern South America, you might hear it. It starts faintly, almost lost in the sound of the rushing water or the wind. But then it grows, taking shape and becoming a wail of pure, undiluted agony. It's the sound of a woman crying, the sound that seems to come from the very soul of the earth, asking a question over and over. Ay, mis hijos, ¿dónde están mis hijos? Which translates to, oh, my children, where are my children? If you hear that cry, the old warnings say to run. Don't look for its source because you've just heard the voice of La Llorona, the weeping woman, and she is probably the most feared and famous ghost in all of Latin America. Like any great legend, the story of La Llorona has countless variations, but its tragic heart is always the same. It starts, as so many tragedies do, with a woman of stunning beauty named Maria. She was born, sorry, she was born in a humble village, but her looks were legendary. Though she turned the heads of all men, rich and poor, she was proud and declared she would only marry the most handsome and wealthiest of men she could find. In time, that man arrived, a dashing and rich ranchero, or sometimes a Spanish conquistador, who rode into town on a magnificent horse. He was captivated by Maria, showered her with gifts, and swept her off her feet. Against the advice of her family, who warned her about marrying a man of a higher class, she accepted his proposal. For a while, their life was perfect. They married, and Maria gave him two beautiful sons. She adored her children, and her husband seemed like like a devoted father. But the ranchero was a man used to the wild freedom of the plains, and quiet family life soon started to bore him. He began spending more and more time away, returning to his old life of carousing, gambling, and seeing other women. He'd been gone for months, and when he did return, he only paid attention to his sons, barely giving a glance to the wife he once prized. Maria's spurned love began to curdle into a bitter, all consuming jealousy. The final betrayal came when her husband returned not alone, but with a new, younger woman, planning to abandon Maria and his children to marry her. Overwhelmed by a tidal wave of pain and rage, Maria's mind snapped. In a fit of blind fury aimed at the husband who cast her aside, she decided to destroy what he cherished most. She dragged her two young sons to the river, and in an act of unthinkable violence, drowned them. It was only when the silence returned, after the current had swept their small bodies away, that the fog of her rage lifted. The crushing weight of what she had done replaced it. Screaming in horror, she ran along the riverbank, clawing at the air, calling for her children, but they were gone. She threw herself into the same river and drowned. But for Maria, death wasn't an escape. Her sin was too great. When she arrived at the gates of the afterlife, she was denied entry. A celestial voice demanded to know where her children were, and when she couldn't answer, she was condemned to wander the earth, searching for them for all eternity. She was stripped of her name and her beauty, becoming known only as La Llorona, the weeping woman. Now she is a ghost caught between worlds. She's described as tall, impossibly thin, almost skeletal figure, draped in the tattered white gown she was buried in. Her face is hidden by long, stringy black hair, but those who claim to have seen it say it's a mask of eternal torment, or worse, a blank, featureless void. A separate but sometimes conflated piece of Texas folklore even tells of a donkey lady with a grotesque equine face, a frightening figure in her own right. La Llorona's domain is the water's edge. Rivers, lakes, and even irrigation ditches. The legend is widespread, with the first documented telling as far back as the 16th century in Mexico City. Though its roots may stretch even deeper into the pre Hispanic past, some scholars believe La Llorona is a syncretic figure born from collision of cultures. They see parallels with Aztec goddesses like the Earth Mother Coatlicue, or with Cihuateteo, the malevolent spirits of women who died in childbirth and stole living children. An even more powerful link is made to La Llorona, to not La Llorona, is made to La Malinche, the Nahua woman was an interpreter and consort of the conquistador Hernan Cortez. After she bore him a son, Cortez took the child and married a Spanish noblewoman. History sees La Malinche as both the mother of modern Mexican people and a traitor to her own. Some interpret La Llorona's eternal weeping as the symbolic grief of La Malinche, mourning her children's lost to a foreign power. Over the centuries, La Llorona has become a supernatural boogeyman. Parents all over Latin America use her story to frighten children into obedience. Don't stay out after dark. Don't play near the water, lest La Llorona mistake you for her own and drag you down to a watery grave. For adults, hearing her wail is a terrible omen of misfortune or even death. Her story is a chilling reminder that some actions and some grief are so profound that not even death can bring peace. That's a chilling story. And like I've always said that La Llorona, El Cucuy, all those horror stories, they're all used in Native, not Native American, but in Hispanic folklore and Hispanic households to get children to pay attention, to listen. They're lessons to be learned, and it's always been like that. It's always been like that. Thank you so much, Lurker. Let's move on to the next part. La Ciguanaba. But not every ghost woman is weeping for lost children. Some haunt lonely roads and shadowed ravines with a much more sinister purpose. They aren't mourning a loss, they're delivering a punishment. From the weeping mother, we turn to the seductive deceiver. Our journey now takes us into the moonless nights of Central America to Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. Sorry. Where men who wander astray become prey for a phantom known as La Ciguanaba. Picture it, a man is walking home late at night, maybe a little drunk. On a winding country path, the air is still. Suddenly, he sees her up ahead by a public fountain, or bathing in a secluded river, is the figure of a woman. She's breathtaking. He can't see her face. She is always seen from behind at first, but her body is alluring, either nude or wrapped in a sheer white nightgown. Her most captivating feature is her long, lustrous black hair cascading down her back. The man is instantly enchanted. He picks up his pace, his mind filled with lustful thoughts. He calls out, but she doesn't answer. She just keeps washing her clothes or combing her hair, seeming to ignore him, which only fuels his desire. In some version, she even takes on the appearance of his own girlfriend or wife to better lead him astray. He follows as she starts to walk away, leading him further from the path, deeper into the woods, or towards the edge of a steep canyon. He's so consumed by her beauty that he doesn't notice the path getting more dangerous. All he can think about is seeing her face. Finally, far from safety, she stops, slowly turns around, and this is the moment the seduction ends and the absolute horror begins. The face she reveals is not human. In the most famous version of the legend, the beautiful woman has the head of a horse, its long muzzle pulling back to reveal yellowed teeth in a grotesque smile. The sound she makes isn't a lover's whisper, but a horrifying cackling laugh that echoes through the night. In other versions, her face is a grinning human skull or the decaying, maggot eaten face of a corpse. The effect on the man is immediate and catastrophic. Most are said to die on the spot from pure terror. Those who survive are driven permanently insane, their minds shattered. Their bodies might be found days later at the bottom of a ravine, but their souls were lost the moment La Ciguanaba showed her true face. So, who is this monstrous Punisher? Her origin is also a tale of female transgression. She was once a mortal woman named Siwawet, a Nahuatl name meaning beautiful woman. She was a peasant whose beauty attracted a god. Some say the Aztec storm god Tlaloc, and she bore him a son who would become another folkloric figure, El Cipitillo. But Siwawet was a terrible mother and an unfaithful partner, neglecting her child to meet with lovers. When her divine husband discovered her infidelity, he was furious. As punishment, he cursed her. Her beauty, which she had used for selfish deception, would now be a grotesque illusion, beautiful from afar, but a thing of horror up close. He changed her name to Siguanaba, a hideous woman, and condemned her to wander the countryside, luring unfaithful, drunken, and abusive men to their doom. Her story isn't about a woman who was wronged, but a woman who did wrong and is now a terrifying instrument of moral enforcement. La Ciguanaba is a predator, a supernatural guardian of patriarchal values. Her victims are specific men who are out late at night when they shouldn't be, cheating on their wives or driven by lust. She is the ultimate consequences of a walking, neighing nightmare designed to scare men into fidelity. She's a vivid warning that prowls the Central American night. Desire can be deadly, and betrayal has a face of pure horror. These stories have been passed down for centuries, keeping the darkness at bay. They're more than just tales; they are cultural DNA, echoes of ancient fears and timeless warnings. If you're fascinated by the shadows of folklore and want to explore more of these incredible legends, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell. You never know what might be lurking in our next story. And remember, if you're a part of the groups on Discord, Irium, Instagram, Twitter, everything, make sure you like, follow, subscribe because I do post the links there and you can follow me or be a guest and I will have you on the show. Let's move on. The wild, elusive La Ciguapa. So we've met a ghost of grief, a monster of punishment. Now we travel east across the Caribbean Sea to the island of Hispaniola, specifically the Dominican Republic. Here in the deep forest and rugged mountains, we find a different kind of female entity. She isn't a weeping ghost or a monster punishing sin. She's something else entirely. A wild, elusive, and mysterious creature of nature. She is La Ciguapa. Unlike La Llorona and La Ciguanaba, who are definitely spirits of the dead, La Ciguapa is often described as a living, breathing creature. For centuries, people in the rural parts of the Dominican Republic have sworn she is real. An encounter often begins not with a sight, but with a sudden, eerie stillness. The normal chatter of the forest, the birds, the insects go silent. Then you might hear her soft whispers or strange, high pitched whines. carried on the breeze. If she reveals herself, she appears as a female figure of strange and wild beauty. Some say she's small and perfectly proportioned, others tall and slender. She's said to have brown skin or dark blue eyes, or dark blue skin, helping her blend into the shadows, and is often naked, covered only by a magnificent mane of smooth black hair that can reach her ankles. Her eyes are large, dark, and slanted, and said to be incredibly enchanting. But as you look closer, you notice her most unsettling feature: her feet are on backwards. Her heels face forward, and her toes point behind her. I got a message. Hold on. Ah, ah. Need to ban that. It's no one. Sorry about that. Her heels face forward and her toes point behind her. This singular bizarre trait is the key to her legend. It makes her tracks completely confusing. To follow a Siguapa is to walk in the exact opposite direction of her escape, a futile pursuit that ensures she remains a living enigma of the forest. Sorry about that. The nature of La Siguapa is a subject of great debate. In the more terrifying version, she's a predator, like a forest siren. She uses her strange beauty to lure lonely men, farmers, hunters, explorers deep into the wilderness where she kills them. Some say she drains them of blood with a kiss. Others say she consumes them entirely. But there's another gentler version. In this version, La Ciguapa is a shy, timid creature of nature. She's wary of humans and vanishes if they get too close. She only becomes dangerous if hunted or cornered. Some even say that if you manage to capture a Ciguapa, she will die of sadness, unable to survive outside her wilderness home. Legends say you can only catch one on a full moon night with a special multi toed dog. Her origins are just as murky as the forest she inhabits. Many believe the legend has indigenous Taino roots, that Tihuapas are ancient spirits of the island. But some scholars disagree, pointing out that there are no Taino artifacts or stories that mention such a creature. And the first written account appeared in a story by Dominican writer Francisco Javier Angualo Guardi in 1866. This suggests that the legend might be more modern, perhaps influenced by European myths of wild people or even Hindu legends of the Kuril, a ghost with similar backward facing feet. Regardless of her true origin, La Ciguapa is a powerful symbol. She is the personification of the wild, untamed aspects of nature. Her backward feet represent her opposition into the civilized world. She is a warning about boundaries, a reminder to respect the wilderness and to recognize that some places aren't meant for humanity. She is the spirit of the untamable wild whose secrets are not meant to be unraveled. I gotta take a sip. Threads of Terror. La Llorona, La Ciguanaba, La Ciguapa, a weeping ghost, a horse faced monster, and a wild woman with backward feet. At first glance, they seem like three distinct nightmares. But if we look closer, we find a chilling thread that binds them together into a single powerful archetype: the Latin American women in white. Now, the woman in white isn't just a Latin American thing, she's a global ghost, from the Irish banshee, whose wail foretells death, to the White Lady of Germany who guards castles. The spectral figure is a near universal symbol of tragedy. She's almost always the ghost of a woman who has suffered terribly, betrayal, a violent death, or the loss of a child. Her white garment is a potent symbol of a wedding dress for a marriage that never happened, or or a burial shroud for a life cut short. In Latin America, this archetype takes on a unique power, and the first thread connecting our three legends is water. Had to take a deep breath there because I had a cough. Water is La Llorona's realm, binding her through her crime and grief. La Ciguanawa is almost always found near water, bathing or washing clothes when she begins her deadly seduction. And La Ciguapa, though a forest creature, is also said to live near rivers and in watery caves. This is no coincidence. In folklore, water is a liminal space, a place between worlds. It's the source of life and the gateway to the underworld. For these spirits to be so tied to water marks them as being caught forever between life and death. The second and most important thread is that they are all figures of female tragedy or transgression. There are women who, by their own actions or the actions of others, broke the rules of society and were transformed into monsters as a result. La Llorona is the ultimate tragic figure, a victim of betrayal whose grief turns her into a wrongdoer. La Ciguanaba is the transgressor, punished for her infidelity and vanity. Her story, a moral lesson against female sin. And La Ciguapa represents a third transgression, the rejection of civilization itself. Her wildness and backward feet are the ultimate symbol of her defiance of human society. This leads to the final thread. They all serve as powerful cautionary tales, a kind of supernatural social control. La Llorona warns children to obey their parents and stay out of the dark. La Ciguanaba warns men against lust and infidelity. La Ciguapa warns everyone to respect the boundaries between the human world and the wild. Together, they paint a complex portrait of fear and morality, and Latin American culture born from a history of conquest, syncretism, and deeply held beliefs about women, family, and nature. Ooh, had a burp again. Three terrifying legends, three distinct ghosts, yet they all emerge from the same deep well of human experience sorrow, betrayal, and the consequences of breaking the rules. La Llorona's weeping, La Ciguanaba's horrifying reveal, and La Ciguapa's elusive tracks are more than just campfire stories. They're echoes of the real world fears: the fear of losing a child, the fear of infidelity, the fear of the vast unknown wilderness just beyond the village lights. They are a haunting trinity bound together by the white of their ghostly forms, the water that marks their territory, and the tragic past that refuse to let them rest. So, are they just stories, or are they memories, reminders of sorrow so deep they took on a life of their own? The next time you're near a dark river or walking a lonely road at night, listen closely. Is that crying you hear, or just the wind? Is that a beautiful woman in the distance, or just a trick of the moonlight? What local legends do you hear whispered in the dark where you live? Is there a woman in white or some other ghost that haunts your hometown? Share your stories in the comments below. We read every, or when I say we, I mean I. I read every one of them. And if you enjoyed this journey into the shadows, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who isn't afraid of the dark. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe. I will see y'all later. And stay spooky, everybody. And that is the end of that. We can stop the feed. Bam. Short little 30-minute